Okay, guys. We are now alive. Let's just see if it works well. My computer is kind of struggling. It's kind of loading something, but I don't know what it's loading. But I think that's what it's loading. I don't know, guys. I hope everyone is doing well. So yeah, today we're just gonna go again doing the live stream like usually for the weekly outlook. So yeah, let's start right now. But before starting, let's wait for more people to join. So yeah, guys, I hope everyone is doing well. I hope you got the amazing setups that we had on the previous week. So in the previous week, we basically got really nice trades. So we had all the indices right here, so it's pretty nice. And everything is like loading on my computer today. I don't know why everything is like loading on the computer today, but it is what it is. So yeah, on the previous week we got a lot of nice trades. Let me just close a little bit of lighting because it's too bright. It's too bright. Okay, in that way we can have some other lighting that is a little bit prettier. So that's perfect. Okay. So yeah, guys, on the previous week we had like those really nice trades on NAS, US30, etc. that we were forecasting on the previous week with those POIs that happened and really worked out really nice and well. So yeah, we're gonna break down these trades today if we have time, but of course our primary mission today is to just do the breakdown. Again, a lot of things are exactly the same thing that had happened on the previous week. Okay, it's like really similar of what happened on the previous week. So that's why, okay, sometimes I might go a little bit quicker this week over the trades that already happened because I don't want to eternalize myself too much on trades that we already have the same breakdown and the same outlook for the past like 2 or even 3 weeks, right? So let me just configure everything last time and then we're gonna start doing the analysis. So breakdown, so free weekly outlook. Outlook. Okay, free for weekly. Okay, perfect. And then we're gonna just do the announcement that everything is started. So we're gonna just share the link right here. So everyone, we're now live for the free weekly outlook. Okay, perfect. And last thing, I'm just gonna go and do a quick announcement as well on Instagram. So as many people can join. I always mix much and many. I don't know why. Like I'm always mixing like too much or too many. I think too much is when you don't count, too many is when you can count, but I always mess that up, so I don't know why. I know the difference, but I always like forget which one is which. Okay, so we're now live for the free weekly outlook. Okay, perfect. On For Traders YouTube channel. Okay, guys, that's good. Bam. bam, and then we're gonna copy the link. So copy, and then we're gonna paste it right here, and we say join now. Okay, nice. So guys, time to actually do the live stream. So I hope everyone is doing well, like I was explaining. And yeah, we're gonna start basically with the major Forex pairs. On the previous weeks, for like the past month, I think we've been forecasting 3 points of interest on indices. Okay, so on US 30, on NAS, and on S&P, we were forecasting really nice points of interest for the past what, months, almost 1 month, like 3 weeks. And this week we had 3 trades that happened and hit final take profit on indices that were forecasted in the free outlook, guys, and it was all of them hit 1-to-5 risk-reward ratio. So just by watching the free weekly outlooks, you could have got like an amazing gain. So yeah, we're gonna do the breakdowns later on when we're gonna talk about indices. And right now we're first of all gonna start by analyzing the major Forex pairs. So for everyone that is wondering what we're looking for, you have the watermark right here if needed. And yeah, so that's pretty much it, and that's what we're gonna do right now. So first things first, on Euro USD. What's going on Euro USD? So this nothing changed, okay? Nothing changed since the previous 2 weeks, even more. Like this low was created 2 weeks ago and a half. 2 weeks and a half ago, and we're still stuck in this range. Why? It's because we broke for the last time the structure right here. So basically we got our last break of structure downside right here, as you can see, and this last break of structure is the only one that we had, because after that we just started to push up, okay? And yes, we mitigated a POI in this area. We had an amazing reaction to the downside, but that's pretty much it. You see, that's pretty much it. And since that point, we cannot, according to my strategy, I cannot just start to identify the break of structure here's, break of structure here's. That's internal. Why? It's because my overall range broke structure to the downside there, you see, not here. So I'm still stuck in this range like that, okay? So this is why, and this is the reason there's nothing new to do on Euro USD. For something, if we want to have something new to do, we need a break to the downside first. If we have a break to the downside first, we're gonna have a new break of structure to the downside, and then our range will move down right here, you see. But as long as we don't have this break of structure, everything going on here is internal, okay? Everything is internal. So that doesn't make sense to look, according to my strategy, again, as I'm on the higher time frame, it doesn't make sense for me to look for anything in that moment right now. So we're just basically waiting for the structure to continue to push to the downside, and then we're gonna have a new range, and then we'll be able to look for a trade. As long as we don't have that on Euro USD, it's exactly the same thing as we had on the previous 2 to 3 weeks, okay? So that's it. Euro USD, boring according to my strategy. Again, if you don't remember what happened on the previous weeks, you want a better analysis, you want to again understand the structure, like again, of course, everything like I was explaining, everything and the live streams are on YouTube and as well on this section on the Discord that is called the free weekly outlooks. All the free weekly outlooks, the links are there, so you can just go back to the previous weekly outlooks, see the recordings, see the trades that you want, or like the the charts that you want to review again, and that way you will have more explanations. But I'm not going to re-explain everything that I've been explaining for the past month, okay, because we have other things to talk about. GBP USD, same thing. Like I was explaining in the previous week, we had a lot of POIs, but same problem as with Euro USD. First of all, we didn't even come back close to the 0.5. This is not a deep enough pullback for us to look for any trades. Remember, like I was explaining, for us, a valid point of interest needs to be below or above the 0.5% of the Fibonacci, that is as well the equilibrium, because above the 0.5, so in this area right here, that's the premium area. So if you want to sell, this is where price is expensive. So you're gonna sell your price and your asset at the best price possible. So in this case, if price goes back up and goes above the 0.5, it's gonna be really expensive, right? So you're gonna sell it at the best price possible, at the most expensive price possible. And in this case, as price never came back up and never crossed this 0.5% and never tapped into any points of interest where we could have looked for some sales, of course we had no trade here and we're just waiting. So it looks like we've been waiting and waiting and waiting, but guys, it's not at all like that every single time. Okay, why? It's because, as you can see right here, we have other trades and other pairs to trade. So even if on two pairs we're stuck for like 1 month at the same area with the same POIs, as you have other pairs to trade, as we are on the higher time frame, it doesn't matter. Okay, it doesn't matter that we're stuck here again for the past 2 weeks. You know, it doesn't matter because we have other trades and other pairs to trade. So same thing on GBP/USD, we still have some POIs above, but except for that, it's exactly the same thing as we had on the previous weeks. So same thing, if you want to just review those POIs, I can show you the levels. There's one here, one here, one here, one here, one here, and one here. So this is the levels. If you wish to review them, just see the recording afterwards. And basically, we're just waiting for the POIs to be mitigated, wait for the break of structure downside as a confirmation / change of character, right here. And then we're gonna be looking for an entry. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much it for GBP/USD. USD/JPY, that's more interesting because we are finally doing something new. So as you can see right here, what do we have new? It's quite simple. We just pushed more to the upside, right? So as we pushed more to the upside, as you can see, we created a new range. You know, we created a new range. This range is now from this low to this high. Here, okay, we had some little like pullbacks, right? But those pullbacks are too small, like too small. So you're not considering this as new ranges yet. If it still continues to be aggressive and just doing this, yes, you're gonna consider it as new ranges. But for now, you're not considering this as new ranges. Instead, that's just some inducement and rest in liquidity for below, okay? Because if you consider this as a new range, you don't have any liquidity in this leg, and bam, 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 you're gonna get swept, okay? So you don't want that. You don't want that, okay? So that's why it's really, really important to have the right structure, because if you don't have the right structure, you're not gonna be able to catch the good trades. So yeah, that's pretty much it. We have a 4-hour POI exactly right here, and that's pretty much it that we have new. Below that, we still have another 1-hour point of interest exactly right here. As you can see, that is pretty nice as well, according to the strategy, connected to this little imbalance. Okay, so yeah, this is what we have new on USD/JPY, and this was a question that a lot of people were asking me, okay? So I'm gonna answer the questions after that. I see there are some questions in the chat. I'm gonna answer the questions just after I finish explaining this. But yeah, basically there was a question that some people were asking me. Sometimes I'm identifying my POIs with 3 candlesticks, you know, like in this case. That's a good example, because as you can see, my POI here, it's 1, 2, 3. It's 3 consecutive same color candlesticks, okay? So as you can see, this is a valid POI. Why? It's because a valid POI, we have our 4 rules, right? Remember, 4 rules. First rule, if you want to buy or sell, it needs to be below or above the 0.5%. In this case, I want to buy because we're bullish, right? So my POI is below the 0.5% of my range. First rule met, that's fine. Then it needs to be unmitigated. So that means it needs to be new. So nothing already came back and tapped into the POI. In this case, it's fine. It works. The POI is new. There's nothing that came back and tapped into this area. So second rule as well met, right? So now we have 2 rules more to meet. The next one is the opposite color candle. So if, for example, we're bullish, right? We're bullish, so we want the opposite color candle to be our POI. In this case, my bullish candles, so my candles that are pushing to the upside, are blue, and my white candles are my bearish candles. So if I want to buy, I need to identify the opposite color candle. So in this case, the bearish one. So in this case, that's my white candles, as you can see. So like the third criteria met, we have one less criteria that is really, really, really important, guys, okay? And the last criteria is that it needs to be connected to a fair value gap or an imbalance, okay? In this case, now this is where the question is asked. Some people are asking me, okay, sometimes I have one POI with 1 candle, or sometimes I have a POI with 3 candles. For my valid POIs, it just needs to be at least 1, maximum 3. Okay, so 1, 2, or 3 same color candles consecutive. So in this case, it fits the rule. So as you can see, 1, 2, 3, same color candles, so they're all white. There's no blue candle in between, that are consecutive, and it's right here connected to an imbalance. As you can see, this is connected to an imbalance. The fair value gap is here, like I was explaining in the previous live stream, but here we still have an imbalance because price never came back and filled this gap that is still sitting here. Yes, the fair value gap is here. Yes, that's true, because a fair value gap is between 3 consecutive candles. You see, bam, bam, bam. As you can see, bam, bam, bam. But this is my imbalance, okay? This POI, however, it's not really strong. For one little reason is that we don't really have any inducement. We have this little pullback here, but it's like pretty weak inducement. So you can consider this as a POI without inducement and just use lower risk, because of course, like I was explaining, all the inducement was situated below here. So this is right here. You have a little type of trend line. So there is some inducement right here. You can as well consider your inducement like that, with like some resting liquidity under the lows. So what can be interesting though is that if price pushes down, sweep the liquidity here and then had a reaction, and then gives us our change of character in between right here. So if, for example, something like that happens, see, so if it pushes down, up, down on the 15-minute, it sweeps the liquidity, then it breaks structure that gives us a change of character. This could have been considered as a liquidity sweep. So now this POI will have inducement, and then we will be able to look for a trade continuing to push to the upside. Okay, so in this case, that's gonna be really, really interesting, and that's how we're gonna look for a buy here. Someone asked me if it's a buy or a sell. That's a buy, guys. If I'm bullish, I'm gonna be buying. If I'm bearish, I'm gonna be selling. Okay, so in this case, that means that we're bullish. Why? I mean, we're pushing to the upside. It's pretty obvious. We're pushing to the upside. So I'm going to be following the trend, and I'm going to be looking for buys. Some people say this is inducement. That might be inducement, but of course, I'm not straight away just entering into this POI. Like, I know this is not that strong. That's why I manage my risk by, for example, you can manage your risk by lowering your risk, or not taking the trade as well, but you never know which POI, which points of interest, if it's according to the strategy, will work. And it's as well, like I was explaining, below the 0.5% of the fib. So the pullback is strong enough, and confirming with multiple confirmations, this POI can still have a chance to work out. But of course, as there's no inducement above this POI, you can still just lower your risk, and that way you will have a more risk exposed in your position, and even if it's a loss, it's fine, because even if it's a loss, that's according to the strategy. Okay, that's the most important thing. It doesn't matter. Okay, a trade that wins, if it's not according to the strategy, it's a bad trade. A trade that loses, even if it's according to the strategy, it's fine. For me, it's a good trade. That's it. That's all we need to know. Don't overcomplicate it, follow your rules, and that's it. So yeah. Okay guys, so let's see if we have any questions right here. So higher time frame structure mapping, please remove my confusion. I don't know what is a valid pullback. Actually check Euro GBP, please. It tapped into a fire POI. Okay guys, so how to identify a valid pullback on a higher time frame. Okay, how identify a valid pullback on a higher time frame is actually with the fib. So remember, if we have a rule right here that is to identifying our POIs that needs to be below the 0.5% of the fib, the rule for a valid pullback on a higher time frame, it's pretty much the same. Okay, so why? It's because if price just creates a really aggressive pullback right here and right here, that's too aggressive. It's not strong enough to consider a real range, okay? But if price comes close to 0.5% of the Fibonacci, it pushes down, or even just really close, now that can be considered as a valid pullback, okay? So if it pushes close to the 0.5, of course it's way better if it breaks this level, you know, that's at 100% a valid pullback. That's gonna be how you consider a valid pullback. So sometimes, like I was explaining, sometimes it's not breaking the 0.5% level, it's just like coming close to it. But most of the time, like for example right here, see it pushed down, it went below the 0.5. Here same thing, it pushed down, went below the close to 0.5. Here same thing, and here it's now pulling back right here. So that's how you identify your valid pullbacks. So yeah guys, okay, let's go now on Euro GBP, because someone said that let's go and take a look at Euro GBP. So Euro GBP, there is actually a trade right now that was going on, but I saw again it's really funny, okay, because I have really specific like rules how to manage my capital for Sydney session and for market close. Because for Sydney session, okay, there is a really big spread, okay. As the volume is getting lower, the the volatility gets higher and the spreads are increasing, okay. And it happens as well the same time for market close. Why? It's because during the weekend, when market has this like close, when we reopen, we are reopening during Sydney session. So together, you know, it creates a huge spread. And during the weekend, news can happen, new stuff can happen in the economy. So there is a big risk that there is gaps happening or really aggressive moves happening at market open, you know, every single Sunday for me, or Monday for other people if you're, for example, in Europe, so, or like in other continents. So yeah, in this case, when you are like at the end of the week, so on Friday, okay, when you're at the end of the week, you need to close your trades if they're close to your stop loss or close to your entry. Because like I was explaining, depending, of course, if you're scalping, if you're like a swing trade, it's different. Of course, if you're a swing trader and your position is like 50 pips away from your stop loss, you don't necessarily need to close it, you know, because even if it creates a huge gap, you'll still stay in the trade because price has a lot of room to play with, right? But if your stop loss is like less than 10 pips or even less than like 30 pips or 20 pips, and there's huge spreads, buy, ciao, buy. You're gonna get stopped out or just like swept because of the gap. So, or the spreads, depending. So in this case, we have a 4-hour POI. Okay, if we go back to exactly here, we have a 4-hour POI. Someone said, what is inducement? You don't need to spam, by the way, but inducement is as a synonym to rest and liquidity. So every single time you have some rest and liquidity, there is inducement. So for example, I'm going to explain with this example there. It's going to be easier for you to understand by seeing an example than just me talking. So right here, okay, what's going on with Euro GBP? I went back in time just to show you show you what happened. Okay, so first of all, we need to identify our bias and our direction. In this case, our direction is bullish, right? Why? I mean, we're pushing to the upside, so we are on an uptrend. You know, we are in an uptrend. We're pushing to the upside, as you can see right here, just pushing up, 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 up. Nice. Then we need to identify our last break of structure. The last break of structure to the upside happened right here. This is the last high that has been broken, and we created a new high right here. So we can now identify our range. Our range will be the low connected to the previous high. So this is the lowest point connected to the previous high, and the high will be the current high. Then you take your Fibonacci from the bottom to the top, and this is now where you're going to identify your valid points of interest. Like I was explaining in the previous trade breakdown / analysis like 10 minutes ago, a valid POI, we have our criteria. First of all, it needs to be below the 0.5%. So everything above right here, we ignore. We're not even looking at it. It's chow buy. Okay. Then it needs to be the opposite color candle. So all the blue candles right here, we ignore, chow buy. So now we're left with this white candles and those white candles right here. So now we're going to filter them to see which one of those candles are a valid POI. First of all, it needs to be connected to a fair value gap or an imbalance. So as you can see right here, there's no fair value gap or imbalance at all right here. This got already mitigated. There's no gap at all in this body closure. So this is chow buy. So now we're left with those white candles in the bottom. Okay. Now, remember, it's between 1, 2, or 3, okay? Between 1, 2, or 3 consecutive same color candles. Here we have 4. You see, there is one that is too much, right? So we're going to remove one, and the highest point is here. Now, this is our valid POI. Why? It's because it's only 2 candles, that's good, and it's connected to this imbalance that is right here, that is still available. So we still have nothing that came back in this area right here. And in this case, this is a valid for our POI, as it's as well unmitigated. So as you can see, that's it. Guys, do you hear me? Do you hear me? Everything is good? My microphone is good. Someone said that they don't hear something in Spanish. So okay, perfect. Because something said again entiendo algo. So je vais juste genre comprendre, like, oh my god. I'm speaking 4 languages at the same time. Because it says someone is hearing something as someone is like understanding something. So, and someone said no. So I was like, do you not understand English, or is not something that someone that is hearing me? Anyway, okay guys, perfect. Someone said if I'm French. Basically, no, guys, I'm not French. I'm Ukrainian, but I live in Quebec, so I speak French as my current language. So yeah, that's why maybe I have an accent. Okay, so yeah, we have this 4-hour POI. So we're gonna be waiting for this 4-hour POI mitigation. So as you can see right here, this is interesting, guys. Listen. Open your ears, open your eyes, and look at the chart. We tapped into this 4-hour POI, as you can see exactly right here. This is when we're gonna look for our entry, okay? It's not just when we tap into the POI that we enter. We wait for a confirmation, okay? So it's not like you enter here, and you pray for the best, okay? You just need to wait for the POI mitigation, and then you go on the 15 minutes, okay? You go on the 15 minutes, and you wait for a 15-minute change of character, okay? Okay. So again, my break of structure / change of characters, I'm repeating this every single time so everyone understands. I'm identifying them from a break of structure to another break of structure. I don't include wicks, okay? So now that being said, don't tell me your break of structure is not valid, your wick is not at the right place. I know if for you, for example, it's not a valid break, according to my strategy, how I trade, how I backtested it, how I've been trading it for the past 2 years, that's how I'm doing it, okay? So right here we have our little pullback. Why this is a valid pullback, you will tell me, because there's more than one candlestick that are pushing higher or up. So in this case, as you can see, we have this candle and this candle that are pushing to the upside. So this is a valid pullback on the lower time frame only, not on the higher time frame. Lower time frame only, guys, okay? So in this case, as we are in the 15 minutes, that's valid, okay? So we just pushed up, break of structure right here. This is the high we need to break. Why? It's because here we broke to the low. That's it. That's it. You know, nothing more complicated. We broke to the low. That creates our little range. You see a little range. And then that means that this is the high we need to break for our change of character. So in this case, you see we broke structure to the upside. So what do we need to do? Okay, is identifying our last and extreme POY. In this case, our extreme POY was on the 1 minute. So as you can see on the 1 minute, we have this POY that is the lowest one. There is nothing below. There's actually nothing below. Why? Because this is not the opposite color candle, and below that we have nothing, you see. So the extreme POY is this white one right here, okay? That's it, as you can see. So bam, we enter for a buy here, stop loss below the low, and this trade already started running, okay, before the market closed. But again, guys, remember, like I said, I'm not holding trades during the weekend. So right here, this is the entry. You add 1 pip to your entry, always. First of all, to cover your spread. Second of all, to as well cover that sometimes price comes close to the entry without actually tapping into it. So that way you're as well covered for that. And let's see what happened, okay? Let's see what happened. We basically tapped into the entry and we started running. But like I was explaining, you're not holding the trade during the weekend. You're not holding the trade during the weekend. It's too close to the stop loss. Like the difference between this and this is 11 pips, right? It's really tight, you know? My strategy is made like that. My strategy, I'm coming from a higher time frame and I'm refining the entry on the lower time frame. And yes, it's normal that, you know, my entries are pretty tight, you see. But in this case, that's why it's really a bad idea to hold a trade during the weekend, because imagine something happens during the weekend, a news event or whatever, market opens and just crash, you know, you're gonna be out with slippage, you're gonna be out for a loss, something like that, you know. So that's why right here you needed to close the trade before the weekend around a 101 risk-reward ratio. So around in this area you needed to close the trade, because again, you're not holding the trade during the weekend. So this was just a 101 trade and that's it. Now, okay, the final take profit for this trade, if let's say this happened not before market close, would have been at the hourly high around right here. This would have been the final risk-reward ratio, and it's still the final risk-reward ratio, okay, for this position, okay? But again, you're not holding the trade during the weekend. Now, what do we do with this position? As the trade already got closed for a 101, okay? Again, why 101? It's guys, you're making me laugh. I'm saying I'm not holding this trade during the weekend because it's risky, and you criticize that it's a 101. You prefer it to be a loss? I don't understand. You know, so you close the trade during the weekend, but when the market is opening again and this trade still didn't hit 103, so let's say, for example, 103 is here, okay? 103 is the partial level for our strategy, okay? 103 is the partial level for the strategy. So if it's still here, okay, and we're just consolidating, or we don't have a strong reaction and the trade is still valid, you can re-enter at this trade, okay, right here for the break to the, if it push down, taps into the entry again, and then you can just re-enter the trade at the same level that you initially opened it, okay? If it reaches this level before reached 103, okay, this is really important. If it pushes up and reaches 103 risk-reward ratio, this trade would be already at take profit 1, and when we have our take profit 1 hit, your stop loss needs to move up to break even to secure the profits, okay? So you take partials and you secure the profits, okay? So what does that mean? It means that if the trade pushes down again, it's no longer a good idea and it's no longer valid to re-enter, okay? So please, you can re-enter this trade if it comes back down before reaching 103 and after spread hours. So when it's market open, wait like 1 or 2 hours before opening the position, because if not, you're gonna have huge spreads and you're not gonna be even able to enter this position. Someone said tighter stop loss and make it into a 1-to-3 risk-reward ratio. If I have a tighter stop, you want my stop loss to be how much? 1 pip? Like you see right here, that's already a 4 pip stop loss. That's already really tight. You know, guys, like that's actually really tight, right? You cannot make it tighter. If you make it tighter, that's crazy. With your spreads, you're not gonna be able even to enter in this trade without getting stopped out. Because if, for example, your spread is like 1 pip, right? 1 pip, 1.5, whatever. What? Price needs to come this close to your stop loss before, first of all, get inside the trade. And second of all, you want to refine the trade at a certain point. It's no longer possible. Like you need, first of all, you will not be able to avoid liquidity sweeps. So the stop loss, why my stop loss is here, first of all, is to protect the position. That's the most important part. You need to protect the position, okay? And second of all, it's to avoid liquidity sweeps. It's because if price wants to push down, sweep some liquidity in the bottom right here. There is some liquidity in the bottom right here, right? If price wants to push down, sweep liquidity, stop out everyone that had a really tight stop and push up. It happens so many times to me. Like when I started trading my strategy, I had a really tight stop, like really tight stop, okay guys? And it happened so many times that I just pushed down. My trade just got swept and then it just continued to push to the upside without me. So it's not worth it. It's not worth it to basically just wait for a sweep and then push up. Like it doesn't make sense, you know. It doesn't make sense to risk it to have a better risk-reward ratio and start being greedy with your stop loss when it's no longer protecting your position anymore. Like the stop loss, the goal of the stop loss is the level where the trade gets invalidated, right? If your stop loss is too tight, it's no longer even protecting your position. It's just being like too greedy at that point, you know. So your stop loss needs to be at a certain level where the trade idea becomes invalid. That's it, okay? So yeah, so that's it. Your stop loss, don't make it too tight. Makes no sense, okay? Makes no sense, right? So add a little bit more pips. It's just better. It's just more protecting and that's it. So yeah, and by the way, yes, it hits like only a 1-to-1 risk-reward ratio, but 1% profit, it's better than hold the trade and get out of with a loss, you know, just saying. Okay, so yeah, that was what I was explaining about this trade. And like I was explaining, the final take profit for this trade would be above for right here. It's already really a big risk-reward ratio. If you, again, don't want to be greedy, just target, for example, this point of interest right here in the opposite direction. So that way it's gonna, if it price push up and reacts, you know, you will still hit your take profit. If you are here, it might reverse on you and you don't want that either. It happened a lot of time to me too. Like what I'm saying right now, it's like the past 2 years experience trading this strategy that I'm talking, you know. Like at the beginning I had other rules because I was not like as experienced with this strategy. And for example, US30, we had a trade exactly right here that hit a really beautiful 1-to-6 risk-reward ratio that I'm gonna break down afterwards. But you see, if I would hold it until this high, price can just really push down and reverse on me. As long as if I target this POY, you see right here, it hit perfectly the take profit final. And then now even if it wants to reverse, ciao, bye. I don't care. Like I don't actually care. So yeah, that's it. Okay, don't be greedy with your stop loss and don't be greedy with your take profit. Above 1-to-4, it's a good risk to reward ratio. You don't need 1-to-100 risk to ratio to be profitable. Okay, so yeah, that's it for Euro GBP. Now let's go over GBP GPY. So as you can see exactly right here, we have this structure on GBP GPY. Overall, we're as well pushing to the upside. So we have this 1 hour POY that we tapped into it. So same thing as on Euro GBP, we're gonna be going on the 15 minutes and wait for a 15-minute break of structure / change of character to the upside. Okay, so as you can see here, what's going on? We have a structure, it looks a little bit confusing, looks like we're consolidating. whatever, it's fine. We're gonna be identifying what's going on. First things first, to not be overwhelmed by this structure and go crazy, you need to just, first things first, identify your last break. If it's to the downside, if you are in a downtrend, you're gonna identify your last break to the downside. If you're going to the upside, you're gonna identify your last break to the upside. That's it. It's the first step to identify your range. If you have the right break, you're gonna have your range like this. Easy peasy, okay? So here, the last break of structure to the downside is actually right here. That's the last break to the downside that happened because, as you can see, that's the last low that has been broken. So this is the last break to the downside. Again, if you take your wicks, you're gonna have it like that. I take my body closure, so I have it like that. Okay. So this is the last break of structure to the downside, right? So what it creates a low. So let me just go back in time. It creates a low and a high. You see, low, high. Wow. So this is your high of the range. This is the low of the range. And now, important. Everything, okay, that is going on between this high and this low, everything that is going on between this high and this low is internal. Okay? Think, okay? Like this, the concept of internal ranges needs to go back in your brain, okay? So it means that for having a change of character, you need this high to be broken. So everything that is going on in between, internal, you don't care. So let's see what's gonna happen. You see, it's just consolidating, like I was explaining, internally. So no, guys, this is not your change of character. Why? This low is not the low that broke the previous high, or the previous low in this case. So you see right here, this is the low connected to the previous high that has been broken. Like right here, this is the low connected to the previous high that has been broken. And this low did nothing. It did nothing. You see, it was just consolidated in between the previous range. So this is not a break of structure / change of character, as you can see. So this right here is the high we need to break for our change of character. So if you wait for this change of character first, this is your confirmation like we were seeing on Euro GBP. Of course, if price pushes down, creates a new break of structure to the downside right here, then the range will shift, right? So this will be the new low, and this will be the new high, and this will be the high to break. But for now, as we're still in this previous range and the low never got broken, we just still have this high to break, and that's it, okay? So yeah, that's pretty much it, okay, for GBP GPY, okay, and that's what we're looking for the change of character right here, and that's it. So USD CHF, if we go on USD CHF now, before that I'm gonna answer some questions on YouTube. So it's a flex to know many languages. Yeah, guys, I'm fortunate with that. I know multiple languages, so I'm happy. It's really useful, honestly, to talk to other people, because again, it's more fun for people to talk in their native language, you know. So can I identify the POI within a session range? Yeah, of course. But I'll say we don't count inside candle bar. If it's inside another candle, it's just one candle. I don't understand what do you mean. I mean, I think I understand what you mean, but it's just, if it's one candle inside each other, it's just considered as one candle. I understand what you mean, but for the POI, if you're talking about the POI, if there is a one big candle and one smaller inside of it, it's a valid POI. It's just that take the one that is actually connected, you know, connected to the imbalance or the fair value gap, and it needs to be the same color, okay? So the confirmation entry is very small. I mean, it's because that's the break of structure that happened in this range. She has an amazing strategy with excellent entry points, but it seemed more suitable for day traders, not scalpers. Yeah, my strategy is not a scalping strategy, guys. My strategy is not a scalping strategy. I'm not scalping. I'm not a fan of scalping. I like to have an overall higher time frame bias and then refining. So yeah, it's more day trading, even a little bit more in the swing side, but not really. It's really more a mix between intraday and like kind of swing, but not really. But it's not a scalping strategy. Thank you for giving us more about the strategy we're learning. Yeah, no worries. That's the whole point of this. Okay, guys. So I took your advice about setting the stop loss. I really like it. The strategy is very precise, and I think 104, 105 would be suitable when I see an opportunity like a POI. Yeah, of course. Okay, guys, so let's continue with USD CHF. So USD CHF right here, we are having this huge range. Same thing, remember, like I was explaining, this is the last break of structure to the upside here. This created this low and this high, and everything between is internal, right? Same concepts. Everything in between is internal. So here we're stuck between this low and this high of the range, and we don't have anything to do. We already mitigated an extreme POI. Previously, we had an extreme POI right here that was as well forecasted in the 3 weekly outlooks on the previous week. You see, so we had a 4-hour POI right here, and you see the preciseness of the POI. Bam, bam, push down, up. That's it. You see, so really precise, but it's already really, you know, it's really, how's it called? Really precise. That's just what I wanted to say. And yeah, so for now there's nothing to do. We just need to wait for this break of structure to the upside first, so then we're gonna have a new range, and then we're gonna be able to identify new POIs. But for now there is nothing to do. Okay, so then we're gonna go on USD CAD. So USD CAD, same thing. We're kind of just stuck in this range from this low to this high, as you can see. Bam, bam. So we're stuck between this low and this high. And same thing, we have some valid POIs in the bottom. We have this 4-hour POI and this 1-hour POI right here. And that's it. Honestly, we're still waiting. Everything is going on again, like I was explaining, between this low and this high stays in the range, and that's it, as you can see. So yeah, we just wait for this high being broken again so we can have a new range. For now, we just have those available POIs left, and that's it. So nothing really new on USD CAD either. On AUD USD, we finally broke structure to the downside. So we're out of this huge range that we had previously, but now we're back in a huge range again, because this is the last break to the upside. We created this huge range, and now we broke structure to the downside. So we created this huge range, and we have some valid POIs right here on the 1 hour. We have this 1-hour POI, this 1-hour POI, this 1-hour POI, and this 1-hour POI. So if I go on the 1-hour time frame, you'll see them. So you have this one connected to this little fair value gap, this one connected to the fair value gap, this one connected to the fair value gap, and this one that is 2 candles in this case, as you can see, connected to this imbalance. And I cannot take another candle there, because if not, it's gonna be already mitigated, so that doesn't fit our criteria. So yeah, that's what we have new on AUD USD. NZD USD, same thing. We just pushed a little bit more to the downside, creating this little pullback. It's really small. Like that pullback is really small. I agree that this might be inducement for the POIs above. I know. Okay, so as you can see, we got basically again, this POI that has no inducement, that this might be the inducement. Again, like I was explaining, we never know in advance if this is gonna react or not, if this will react or not. It might react, and perfect, we're gonna have an entry. But again, as there's no inducement, it's really aggressive. You're gonna lower your risk. Okay, so if, for example, you're trading with 1% risk, okay, you need basically to lower your risk in half and trade it now with 0.5% risk. Okay, so in this case, we're still gonna identify this 1-hour POI. If I go on the 1 hour, again, you're gonna see it. It's this blue candle connected to this little fair value gap. But as there's no inducement, you're gonna lower your risk, as the inducement is actually situated above the highs right here, and we have still other 2 POIs right here. So yeah, that's pretty much it for NZD USD. So we're gonna wait for the POI mitigation and then for a reaction, basically a change of character like usually. So Euro GBP, we already talked about. We have a trade right here that we can enter after market close. And now let's go over US 30. Okay, so US 30, we had this amazing trade for 106 risk reward ratio as well. So what happened? Same thing. We have these two ranges. Okay, we have this one and the previous one right here, as this is the break of structure to the upside. So this is the low connected to the previous high that has been broken. That is as well the lowest point. Okay, so this is the low. So we have a POI right here on the 4 hour. That price basically tapped into it. Same thing basically on Thursday, as you can see. So we went on the 15 minutes and same thing here. It's really, really small. The break of structure is really, really small. Okay, but it is how I identify them according to my strategy. I need only a 2 candlestick pullback on a lower time frame for my valid break of structure. Okay, and as you can see, it works. So even if it looks small, it was basically back tested for the past 5 years. So and forward tested / traded for the past 2 years. So I know that it works. Okay, so as you can see right here, we have our 2 candlestick pullback, break to the downside, break to the upside. So this is basically our small change of character. It's not really big, I know, but it is what it is. And as you can see, after that we identified our extreme POI that was in this case on the 5-minute one, as you can see, and we just entered entry right here. Stop loss gonna be below the low on the 15-minute. Don't make it too tight like I was explaining. And we just pushed up and we hit the final take profit for around a 1-to-6 risk reward ratio at 103. So right here, you put your stop loss to break even. When it reaches this level, you place your stop loss to break even to secure the position, and you take some partials out and you take profit final like I was explaining. It's at the hourly high. The hourly high is actually here, but the risk reward ratio is already really, really good. Okay, really, really good. So there's no need to be greedy. You can just target this POI for 106 and then sleep free of pain. Okay, if for example price comes back to entry and you lose your profits. So yeah, this is a really nice trade happened according to the strategy on US 30, and this 4-hour POI was forecasted for the past month. This POI was here every single week during the weekly outlooks, the free weekly outlooks. Like this one right now, we forecasted this 4-hour POI. So everyone could have caught this trade. Okay, everyone. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So now what do we have new on US 30? Actually, we broke structure to the downside, but it's not like strong enough to do anything for now with this information. We came close here. We have a little pullback, but again, it's not strong enough to look for any sells or anything. I would just wait it out because we already got the trade from the extreme POI. So yeah, we're just gonna wait it out and see what's gonna happen next. So yeah, someone said, what is my return on investment on this strategy? So basically, my strategy has around a 50% win rate with a minimum of a 103 risk reward ratio. So depending, of course, on the months of the market condition, etc., it depends. But usually, you know, I have around like 2 to like 8% win per week, something like that. Depends, really depends. Sometimes it can be break even because the market conditions are really bad. You know, it really, really depends. But just do a calculation over a long period of time with at minimum of 103 risk reward ratio with a 50% win rate. Okay, so NAS, what happened? So we had a trade as well on NAS and on S&P that we're gonna break it down right now, but for now I'm just gonna explain what's gonna happen next. Okay, so right here NAS, we have a really, really strong like reversal. Okay, so we broke structure downside here, we broke structure downside here, here, and we as well broke structure of the previous low right here. We broke the overall low. So we got our confirmation to now look for sells. Okay, so we have this 4-hour POI right here, this 4-hour POI right here, and some 1-hour POIs there and there, where we can look for some sells, okay? Because NAS right now is pretty again bearish, okay? It might just be like a pullback, and then we're gonna continue to be bullish because of course indices are overall bullish. I'm not contradicting that, but for now it's pushing down, and we're gonna follow the trend that we're seeing right now. It doesn't make sense to buy here, buy here, buy here, buy here, buy here, buy here if the current market structure is getting more bearish, okay? So yeah, that's pretty much it. So we're gonna wait for the POI mitigation, and then wait for a break of structure to the downside and such change of character, of course, and then we're gonna enter like I was explaining. But let's do the trade breakdown of the trade that happened this week before we just got the reversal confirmation. So at the beginning of the week, we were somewhere around right here, okay? We were somewhere around right here at the beginning of the week, and if we densify our two last break of structures, we got this range. So we got this break and this break. So we had the two previous break of structures to the upside. Now we as well got multiple break of structures to the downside, but the buys were still valid because the overall low right here never got broken. So that's why we identified our valid POI in this area right here on the 1 hour, because on the 4 hour there was nothing. And look what happened. So we had this 1 hour POI that was a valid points of interest according to the rules that I was explaining. So connected to the imbalance, opposite color candle, not mitigated below the 0.5% of the Fibonacci. And as you can see, later on, price, what happened? We tapped into this POI. Of course, I'm not straight away entering, okay? I'm not straight away entering inside this POI. Again, guys, that's what I really want you to understand. I'm not straight away entering in the POI. I wait, first of all, for a POI mitigation, and then I go on the 15-minute to wait for a 15-minute change of character. Okay, important. So right here, what happened? We tapped into the POI right here. This is a 2 candlestick pullback according to my rules. 2 candlestick on a lower time frame, like I was explaining, is a valid pullback. In this case, this is the high that we broke. Of course, if you take the wick, you can do it here, but for me, again, it's a break of structure from a body closure to another body closure, change of character, same thing. So we got our change of character right here. And after that, what do? We just identify our extreme POI. So in this case, you take your Fibonacci and you're going to identify your extreme POI. In this case, the most extreme POI was this 5-minute one. That's it. And at the same time on S&P, the same thing was going on. The exact same thing was going on. However, on S&P, the only difference is that we had a 4-hour POI right here. But exactly the same thing was going on because they're really, really correlated pairs, so it makes sense. So on S&P, same thing. We tapped into this POI, and same thing on the 15-minute, exactly the same thing happened. We got our 15-minute change of character right here. So on both trades, on NAS and on S&P, we had to identify our extreme POI. So in this case, it was a 5-minute POI, and if we go on S&P, you'll see it's going to be the exact same thing. It's as well right here, another 5-minute POI. So you enter both trades. Now you will say, okay, you enter both trades. Now you will tell me, but if I enter both trades, I'm going to overexpose myself because it's two positions that are really, really correlated. Right, so if I enter 1%, 1% each, it's actually like I'm entering 2% because it's really correlated positions. So if one pushes down and hits stop loss, there is a really, really high probability that the other one will push down and hit stop loss too. So what do? That's it, guys. What do? Nothing complicated, just split your risk. So that way, if for example you risk 1%, you split your risk in half, and what is done? 0.5, 0.5 together creates 1%, right? So if this is, okay, really correlated pairs like GBP USD, Euro USD, NAS, S&P, like, you know, AUD USD, NZD USD. If it's really correlated pairs and you have the exact same setup at the exact same time, you split risk in half. Cut in half. 1% in half is 0.5. That's it. Okay. So this is now the entry. Okay. Stop loss will be below the low. You gotta add a little bit of pips as well to the entry, because sometimes price comes close to the entry without actually tapping into the POI. But if you add like one extra pip to the entry, this is indices, so it's more like 20, like 30 points, you will avoid missing the trade. Okay, so you add a few extra points in this case as it's indices. Same thing on NAS. So right here, same thing, you had your 5-minute POI, so you enter same thing right here, stop loss below the low, adding a few extra points right here. Okay, so that you avoid missing the trade. Super important. Your take profit 1 will be at 103 risk reward ratio. So this is your take profit 1. Same thing for S&P, you know, exactly the same thing. Same thing for S&P, 103 risk reward ratio right here. And your take profit final, so let me just write this as take profit 1. So take profit 1. And your take profit final will be at the hourly high. Now the hourly high actually is here, but it's really, really far away. Like really, really, really far away. So you don't want to hold the trade really, really, really far away. You want to secure your profits, right? So you can target something a little bit lower, like just a little bit. We have this kind of a blob of pullbacks that you can actually target here. And that way you still have a really beautiful 105 risk reward ratio trade, and you're not overexposing yourself if, for example, price wants to push down afterwards, okay? So this is your take profit final. Same thing for NAS. This was the take profit final, and it was actually the take profit final. You know why? Because on Monday, was it Monday? No, on Wednesday. On Wednesday, I did a live stream on TikTok as well, okay? And I was taking this trade in live, and this is exactly what I was explaining. I was explaining that this is the high we need to target because this is really far away. This trade, I don't know if you guys, some of you were there, like when this trade was happening, but this trade was forecasted in live. Like, I know some people said that they were joining, that they watched the live stream and they took the same trade. Perfect, you know, but I was exactly explaining this is the high we need to take. Okay, so both trades are set. You're good to go. So let's see what's gonna happen. So the trade basically got mitigated right here, as you can see. Perfect entry, got mitigated into the 5-minute POI, and then it just pushed up and hit the final take profit right here. You see? So this was the trade on NAS. Of course, you take your partials and 103 risk reward ratio. At 103 risk reward ratio right here, and you place your stop loss to break even. So here price came close to come back to break even. You see, came close to come back to break even, but it didn't actually tap break even, and then it pushed up and hit the final take profit. And on S&P, exactly the same thing happened, you see. However, here the only difference is that price tapped the final take profit just a little bit further. And look what happened, guys. See, remember what I said? Look what happened. If you just targeted a little bit higher and you wanted to be greedy and just get this like 2 risk reward ratio more, you would have lose this trade. You would have lose your 105 risk reward ratio. So why? Tell me why this is necessary. It's not necessary to be greedy. Please, just target a little bit lower and sleep well at night, please, because really it's not necessary to get 1 risk reward ratio more and lose 5 risk reward ratio. You see? So that's why it's super important. Okay, so see, this is the 2 trades that actually happened. It was first of all forecasted 1 month ago in the weekly outlook. It was forecasted on Wednesday when it was happening, and it hit final take profit, guys. I cannot make it out. Like, I cannot invent it from my head. Like, you know, everyone was watching when it happened. Go back to the previous live streams. You'll see it happen. Like, I cannot like bullshit it out of me, you know, really. So yeah, that's pretty much it for S&P and for NAS. And right now, except for this position exactly right here, there is nothing much that happened new. You know, here we're still stuck in this range, so there's nothing new we can do in S&P. And like I was explaining on NAS, we got the reversal. So now on NAS, we can actually look for some sells. Okay, so on NAS, we can actually look for some sells. We have now this 4-hour POI right here without, I mean, we have some really small inducement, but it's really weak. We have this as well for our POI above that we can look for some sells because we have a downtrend right now on NAS. But NAS is the only trade only pair like asset that is actually tradable to be bearish, because we have the confirmation to look for some sells. Everything else is still not valid to look for sells for now. Okay, so yeah, we have S&P that is waiting, NAS that we can look for those POIs to look for some sells, and that's it. Okay, so yeah, you took this live. Yeah, this trade was on Wednesday. On Wednesday there was a live stream, and it was as well forecasted as well just before it happened as well in the community on the Discord. So it got forecasted on TikTok and the community on Discord on the weekly outlook. I cannot forecast it anywhere else. Like, where you want me to forecast it more? Like, I'm gonna call, like, I don't know. I'm gonna call the New York exchange, and I'm gonna say, guys, take the buy. Like, you know. Anyway, that's it. That's what happened for this week. And we already did everything. By the way, gold right now for my strategy is really boring. We got a break to the downside here, but it doesn't do anything much for me right now. So gold is kind of consolidating. According to my rules, there's nothing really to do with gold right now. It's really boring. So yeah. How much is your Discord? It will be live in the session. Yeah, guys. So by the way, in the community, we're doing live streams basically every single day. I'm doing the live stream during New York. I'm doing the live stream on Tuesday and Thursday and sending all the markups. And my co-coach is doing the markup according to my strategy. Of course, it's the same strategy on the other days they're in London. So you have all the sessions covered. You have all the days covered. Everything is sent. So yeah, guys. And by the way, if you there's as well the free, like, you know, the free community is here, okay? And all the weekly outlooks are there. So if, for example, you don't believe me, okay, you don't believe me because you're like, she's lying, that she didn't take this trade, it was not forecasted. Like, if you think that, go back to the previous live streams. You'll see the exact POI there in big, okay? So yeah, that's it, okay? So yeah, guys, that's it for the weekly outlook. Of course, for the weekly outlook, everything is recorded and it will be sent right here in the Discord. So if you want to rewatch the live stream to see what you missed, the pairs that you missed, you can always just go back and watch the live streams right here. So yeah, that's pretty much it, you know, for today. And guys, don't go yet, because there is one last surprise. Like, maybe you don't know, maybe you know, but you're gonna learn it now. Those live streams for the weekly outlooks are in a collaboration with 4Traders. So the prop firm 4Traders that are ranked number 3 on prop firm match, that are like, I won a trading award with them in Prague. They called me on the previous year. They were organizing a trading gala, the first trading gala in the whole world, and I won a trading award with them. So that's why it's called award-winning trader. So yeah, 4Traders are doing those collaborations with me, and at the end of every single live stream, we're giving away a free 6K funded account on them, you know. So basically they're giving away, guys, for free for you a free 6K funded account. So to participate in the giveaway, it's really easy. This live stream is at the same time on the 4Traders YouTube channel. So that's why, for example, if you go on Discord, you see right here, it's in collaboration with 4Traders. So you see right here, this is why it's on 4Traders YouTube channel. So if you go on YouTube, if you go on YouTube and you write right here 4Traders, let me show you. This is the live stream that is currently going on. Like that live stream is actually right here, you know. We are right now in the live stream, as you can see. So what's going on? We click right here, and if you want to participate in the giveaway, you need to transfer from TikTok to YouTube, and I'm going to be asking a question, okay? If you answer the question right, you're going to be able to participate in the giveaway, and I'm going to spin your names for the 5 people who got the right answer, okay? And then I'm going to send you a promo code with a 100% off on a free 6K funded account, so you can actually claim your funded account, okay? That's it. That's it. Okay, so if you want to participate in the giveaway right now, I'm ending the live stream on TikTok. No more live stream. Bye 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 bye. And if you want to actually participate in the giveaway, don't hesitate to just write for traders on YouTube. Again, they're a prop firm on prop firm match. They're number 3. They're not at 4.6 stars over like 150 reviews, even more right now, I think. And yeah, so right now, if you want to participate in the giveaway, you need to transfer on YouTube, and because I'm gonna end the live stream. Last thing right now as well, guys, on for traders, if you're looking for funded account right now, they have a really amazing promotion as well, that they have a 25% off. It's the biggest promotion of all year. By the way, I never saw that. It's the biggest promotion of all year they did. You have a 25% off and an extra account when you get funded. It's crazy. Like, it's actually crazy. Like, honestly, it's the biggest promotion they did all year for the Black Friday. So if you use the code BOGO25 right here, you can claim this promotion, and it's really nice. So yeah, guys, I'm gonna end the live stream on TikTok and transfer on YouTube if you want to participate in the giveaway. And yeah, if not, have a nice end of the day, and see you next week. Have a nice end of the day, guys. Ciao. By the way, before you're going, you can as well go on my account if you want, and to like contact me, my Instagram, whatever, everything is there, and I reply to every single DMs. And if you want to find my Instagram, you just write my username. That's it. I have a verified check mark. It's blue check mark. So yeah, guys. Okay. Ciao. So okay, guys, the live stream on TikTok ended. So let's now wait for some people to arrive on YouTube, and then we're gonna do the giveaway. So yeah, guys, for everyone who didn't see, like I was explaining, there was a really nice promotion right now on there's a really nice promotion on for traders, as you can see. So I really recommend you to use it, because it's really huge as a promotion. Okay. So let's wait for people to join now. And I'm gonna write my question now. So guys, just to remember for you remembering the rules. Okay, so how the giveaway is working. I'm writing a question. So for example, I'm writing what is my name. It's gonna be a question about the live stream, of course, about trading. It's just an example. So gonna have multiple choices answers. So for example, let's say A, my name is, I don't know, blah blah blah. B, my name is blah blah blah. C, my name is Alex. That's my actual name. And D is blah blah blah. You need to actually answer the letter C. Okay, so you answer the letter C. The first 5 people who got the right answer, I will put them in the wheel of names right here. I put their name in the wheel of names right here. I spin the wheel of names, and the first person who gets chosen by the wheel of names will win the free 6K challenge that you just need to contact me on Instagram or Discord, and I'm gonna send you the promo code. Okay, so now that people joined, by the way, as well, guys, you see right here, this is how I see the chat. You see, this is how I see the chat, right? So if, for example, you see that you wrote your answer first, but I see that you wrote your answer later, okay, it's because of the different internet connections, okay? And I'm gonna pick the people that I see myself. So don't come and see like, oh, but I was first. I see that I was first. I don't know who sees what. So really important, I'm gonna be picking people based on how I see, and you will be able to see on the live stream what I see. So I cannot cherry pick anything, okay? I cannot choose people because I love their username more, okay? So let me just first write the question. So I hope everyone understood the rules. And as well, you cannot pre-shot the answer. There is a lag on the live stream, okay? There is it's a lag. So basically what I see, you see it later on. Like some seconds, okay, later on. I'm not gonna tell you how much seconds later on you're gonna see it, but there is a lag, okay? So if you write C before I even show the question, I know you cheated. I know you pre-shotted your answer. That won't work. You'll be automatically disqualified. So don't even try to pre-shot the question or the letter, okay? Because it's not gonna work out, okay? So yeah, that's it, okay? And by the way, I just okay guys, actually yeah, that's it. Yeah, okay. So let me just write the question that we talked about today. Wait, okay. So this is the question. Let's write the answers. And okay. Okay guys, so this is let me just do it here. Okay guys, so let's do it here, okay? Really easy question, okay? So guys, just look at it right, okay? If you don't look at it right, you might get confused, but analyze the trade, okay? Analyze the question. So the question is, what sequence of candles can be considered a valid POI? So we know it can be up to 3 candles. So what are the sequence, okay, that can be considered a valid POI? Is it bullish, bearish? Is it bullish, bearish, bullish? Is it bullish, bullish? Or is it bearish, bearish? Okay, so which sequence of 3 candlesticks can be considered as a valid POI? Okay, so bullish, bearish, bullish, bullish, or bearish, bearish. Okay, so A, B, C, or D. Okay, answer A, B, C, D. Okay, so let's see who is actually winning. Okay, we have a lot of okay. That's interesting. We have a lot of different answers. That's interesting. Wow, I think it's the first time that we have such a variety of answers. Okay, guys, that's interesting. Okay. So, the right answer is, let's do a rolling timbre, roulement tambour. I don't know how is it called in English. So, the winner is C. The right answer is C. So we can have 3 consecutive same color candles in our POIs. It needs to be consecutive and same color. So bullish. If we have a bullish, bearish, the third one invalidates the sequence. Same thing for this one. Bullish, bullish, invalidation of the sequence. They're not same color. Bullish works. It's the same color. And here, bullish, bullish, invalidation because there is an opposite color candle right here. So the right answer is C. Okay. So right answer is C. 3 same color, same direction candles. So let's take the people who got it right. So first of all, I'm gonna remove everyone from the previous week. Okay, so this person got it right. So bam, that's perfect. This person as well. Perfect. This person as well. Perfect. Same thing right here. So we have a lot of people. So I'm of course keeping everyone who got the wrong answer. And okay, guys, so that's it. Those are everyone who got the right people. Spin 10 people. Okay, guys, it's true that we are 41. It's true that we are 41. So as we're 41, I can take 2 more people. Okay, because above 31, I mean, now we're not 31. As we're 41, I'm sorry, we were 41. Now we pushed down. Maybe people left because they saw that they're not gonna win. But yeah, as we're below above 40 people, I can include 2 more, so that way more people have the chance to win. Okay, so I did that sometimes when we are above 40. So I'm gonna add 2 more people because again, it's more chance for people to win, so why not? Bam and bam. Okay, now it's enough. 10, it's too much. 7, it's fine. Okay, so let's spin and let's see who will win this account. So looks like Tony Gold 41 is the winner, and as well it was the second person who answered. So yeah, congratulations to Tony. Let me see, where are you? Access the channel. So yeah, perfect. Tony Gold right here, you're the one who won, and just contact me and you're gonna receive your funded account. So yeah, have a nice end of the day, guys. That's it. This is the winner right here. Just send me a proof that this is your account and I'm gonna send you your promo code. If not, have a nice end of the day and I'm gonna see you next time, guys. Thank you for joining the live stream and thank you for being there. See you next Saturday.